So I am here in the mountain, right? So past couple weeks we've been working some different mounted attacks. Everything from basic arm bars to a pretty basic choke. Today we're going to go over a little bit more of an advanced mounted position. We're going to go into S mount. This one's going to take a little time, a little effort, and a little bit of comfortability. Especially you kind of white belts. Give yourself a little bit of grace on this one. A lot of our blue and purple belts don't do this guard well. But we're going to figure it out, right? So we're here. Let's say we're in mount and we don't like sitting low. Unless I'm going to do like MMA ground and pound work, I don't like to sit in a low mount. I like to scoot up and sit high. So one of the first things I like to do is I just kind of like to grab the crown of his head here, and I like to just walk my knees up as high as I can until my knees kind of get in line with his shoulders. Keeping that good pinch here. Now, as soon as I do that, I like to pick a side. For me, I'm going to sit into the S with my right leg. My dominant hand is my dominant side. It's going to set up a lot of pretty nice submissions. So I'm here, I'm going to sit. I'm going to lean onto that top knee here. I'm going to scoop his head. I'm setting my shin bone right behind his neck and connecting my outside knee to my foot here. Now, once you get here, all your weight should be sitting right on James's solar plexus. Nice and heavy. 1.5 pounds of sexy that I am right now as I start losing weight for a fight. Listen, I don't say it right in front of JJ. Alright? But once you get here, guys, if you can get to this position with good comfortability and good balance, they're submitted, they just haven't been told about it. Alright? The position is the submission. Alright? Once you get here, it's over. It's just taking the time to do it the right way. So we're going to go over a couple very quick submissions and a couple of the more complicated ones. First one that's very quick that I want you guys to work after just sitting up to S mount is just a simple elbow pinch arm bar. So all we're going to do is the side that we are S on, so kind of that S mount system, right? Boom. I'm going to sneak that hand in, and I want to get elbow to elbow with James. So a lot of people, when you get to S mount, will do this arm cross thing. They want to kind of protect themselves as much as they can, start hiding that arm. Generally, they're going to put this arm on top, which I appreciate. I'm going to keep a good knee pinch and keep good pressure on him here. I'm going to look to sneak my hand in and go elbow to elbow. As soon as we're there, I'm going to drop my elbow back, putting my hand just behind his elbow. Here, here. As soon as we're here, all you have to do is sit up, drive your wrist forward. I'm going to get out of this so James can breathe for a second and enjoy life. You'll realize how bad that sucks here in a few minutes. All right? If you're doing this guard right, it should suck for your part. Sucks to suck. It's a hot day. We're going to work shitty guard. Alright? So you're here, you start in that low mount. Boom, like I said, I like to just kind of cap the top of his head and just start walking my knees up. As soon as my knees get level with his shoulder, scoop, put that weight over that knee. You need to be aware of the fact that if he bucks and tries to roll here, you are susceptible to being rolled. So you have to do this both very quickly, very aggressively. Alright? Now, as soon as you hit this top, like I said, I like to do this one pretty quickly just because it's sneaky quick. Hand in. Boom. Slow with your friends. I know how to do this too. So when you're here, all you're doing, dropping that elbow and shoulder back, driving your wrist forward. It's a pretty quick one if you do it properly. Questions on this? I prefer the S leg side if possible. But yes, if it's not available, just take whatever arm is on top. So if I'm here with James and he crosses that other way, most people, if they've been in S mount, will not set this leg or this arm on top because that is the arm bar side. That is kind of the dominant side that most people are going to look to attack. So they're going to sit in this one here. So most of the time, if they know what they're doing, it should be this arm up. If they don't and they kick the other arm up, that's great. You can go here, but we're going to do other things if this arm's out, which is going to be that's traditional arm. Yes. So if he sneaks this, if this arm's out, yeah, yes. Can you do this? Yes. Should you just triangle the fuck out of him? Yeah, then hit this. Most likely the problems you run into with this one, if James is so common problems you're going to run into with this arm bar. So boom, couple things. One is for a lot of times it's going to be tough to get into. Like it's just not. They're going to just kind of tighten down the hatches here. I always call it the T-Rex defense. We're just here, kind of home aloneing it up. It's hard to get to where you want to be, right? So that's going to be one of the problems that a lot of people run into. But if you can get into it, the nice part is once you're here, all you have to do is follow his pinky. So as long as you apply pressure towards his pinky here, it doesn't matter where he turns his thumb. Like if he turns his thumb that way, you have to push the pressure towards his pinky. Yeah, that's fine. If he starts doing that, a couple things you can do. One, really wrap it up. Like that is going to be number one. Is I'm going to look to wrap that up as tight as I can. Okay. Change.
I know it like matters of having his arm like I would like this, but does it really matter that much if you're like working your way through?
Yeah, if he's here and like switches his hand, it just whatever hand's on top, I'm going to attack. So if I'm here, same thing. I'm just attacking that top one. The reason that most of the time it's going to be switched is because he's this way, the arm bar, the more traditional arm bar is going to be here. It's very quick and available. So that's why most people, if they get here and have any kind of sense of what's going on, they're going to stack their arms. Yeah, I'm elbow tight and pinch that into your armpit. So if I'm here, if I'm here with James, if I'm here and I don't have this elbow pinch, he's going to be able to rotate that arm a lot. But if I'm here and I keep that pinch, rotate your arm. Yeah, it's tough. That elbow, that's why it's called a elbow pinch arm, is because once you pinch this elbow, to drop back, it should be in pretty. Let's see what we got. James would love if none of you have questions, but questions on this one.
How realistic is it for me, like to get somebody flexible?
I prefer to win on someone like Jordan's fucking flexible ass.
And he's going to use legs.
Come here.
Try to use all the time like that.
Yeah, so the reason I like a guard like this for someone flexible, so someone like Jordan, he shouldn't escape mount by wrapping his legs up into you, but he's fucking gumpy for whatever reason and it works for him. So when I scoot up and I get up here, if he starts to try to bring those legs in here, all I have to do is keep my chest low, and all these same things are going to be available to you. So that's the nice part about this is I get further away from his problem area, which is going to be his legs. All right, 1, 2, 3. Good things start to happen. I walk myself up, I get to S mount, and there's kind of two natural reactions that you're going to see when people get here. Option A is just kind of that home alone arm cross defense. Just like, I'm going to keep shit tight here, I don't want to extend my arms at all. The other is kind of a panicked reaction that you'll get a lot of times, especially like as you scoot up. A lot of people will just wrap their arms around your waist. Here. Boom. Like they'll just try to kind of pull you in here, and then they'll try to like bucket. That's generally what they're trying to do is they're going to grab your waist, and they're going to try to bridge and take you over this way. That's fine. I don't really worry about this. All we're going to do as soon as his hands lock behind your back, perfect. I appreciate the submission you just gave me. I'm going to drive this knee up a little bit, and I'm going to drive my elbow to his elbow. Damn. Oh, fuck. We're here. All we're doing is an elbow pinch and work. Heel hook his elbow. Because all you have to do here is just the proper application of
I would never do this. Don't ever do
breaks their shoulder. Doesn't matter which side you do either. I mean, you can come this way. I just have always felt better about the knee side. So try to knee up a little bit. I like to just lock my hands right underneath that elbow, like you're doing the heel hook. Here, up, and twist. James thinks it feels really, really good. Yes, sure. Yes, your Gumby arms are going to be fucking difficult to do this too. Yeah.
They see that start to come, you like put their knee up and they start straightening them and do that, just go forward.
Yeah, then you go back. The nice part is, guys, realize I'm showing these as individual techniques. Realize a lot of this works together. So like if I'm here, I'll just kind of preview what we're going to be doing here in a second. So I'm here, boom, I start to do this, James wraps my body, boom, I get up here, that doesn't work. I can fall off here. Or if he starts to like wrap my body and I don't like that, boom, I can make sure he had a V8. You crush here. And if that's not working, boom, you break the arm. Like, realize in S-mount, about everything you do is a double attack. Because if it's not cranking his shoulder, it's breaking his arm. If it's not doing either of those, it's probably choking. So realize that there's a lot of double attack ability once you get to this position. Getting there and getting comfortable takes some time. Especially against, as you start to move up the ranks in the purples and blues. I keep pointing you now. Look at that. So as you move up into those blue, purple, brown, black ranks, getting to a dominant, getting to mount is hard enough on its own. Getting to S-mount is definitely more difficult. But if you can get good here, the match is basically over. It's just, do you have enough time to do something? All right. Questions on this elbow pinch core? Like I said, we're going to burn through like 3 or 4 of these really quick. And we're going to do some fun. All right. 1, 2, 3. I'm here with James. Boom. I pull that head up. I sit up here, right? So once you get here, there's a couple of those kind of simple, like a grip and rip options. It's like, hey, I can just do some stuff here. There's a lot of that stuff that you can get away with, right? A couple of the more kind of technical, tactical things we need to be watching for as well. One is you can still go to a traditional arm. So when I get here, one of the things I like to do, even if his arms are crossed the other way, just make it worse for yourself. Boom, is I'm gonna get here. Top side hand, I'm gonna look to sneak in, and I like to bring it right up to kind of the inside of this elbow here. Because I don't want to pull on his elbow. His elbow's designed to sit there, right? So I want to get further into that lever here, where we're elbow to elbow, and I'm fighting down towards the wrist. Now, once I'm here, I'm gonna look to peel that wrist off here and slide over. Now, as I'm here, I'm using that lean. See how his wrist is naturally trying to kind of pop out? It's because I have that pressure there. I'm not trying to pull his elbow. I'm using that pressure to drag that wrist down. Yeah, but here. Now, once you get here, you have a couple options. I like to just attach and fall forward. If you attach, cross over, all you have to be aware of is making sure you fall towards the legs, not towards his head, right? So here, boom, I'm gonna go elbow to elbow, boom, here. As soon as I get here, I'm gonna untuck that foot just that little bit. Like I said, if you want, you can go shin in and finish top side. Or, swing over, and finish more. I don't care which one you try. Try hitting both and see which one feels a little bit more natural to you. Like I said, for me, if I've worked this hard to get the S-mount, I'm not just giving it up. So I like to finish from here. Because if he starts to drop that elbow out and it's not working, I can just rebound back into S-mount to James's chagrin. I really enjoy this on a 90-degree day. Questions? Yes, you know. Biggest thing topside you have to watch for is you got to make sure you're kind of pulling that rope up to make sure his arm comes out. So when I'm here and I'm falling backwards, that backwards draw helps kind of pull that arm straight. But when I'm I'm coming forward, there's not as much of that. So you have to make sure you kind of have to extend that arm, driving it forward and then looking to drive through that. Does that make sense? That, and when your pressure's coming forward, it doesn't come forward at that 45, it's going towards that back. Here. Yes, change.
You're going back the opposite side of your leg.
Yes, so you're always attacking this side whenever you want to go to the more kind of traditional top side. I'm going to take my foot pressure off.
Sometimes I think
Yes. So if I'm here, just make sure you're here, and you can stay here. Well, oh yeah, I would not figure four. The only time I would figure four here is if you escape an arm. If this arm pops out, then go to the triangle. But if not, you kill all mobility to be able to shift around with that figure four. Without, it doesn't add any extra attacks for all the loss of mobility. So it's kind of a weird trade-off to give up. It makes, now, MMA secures you into position, fucking just hit it until the ref politely asks you to stop. But other than that, you don't gain any attacks for the loss of mobility. Does that make sense?
You can walk from the top arm bar as you're shifting your weight to like go that way. If you can't get that arm locked out, I feel like that one will up pretty quick.
Yeah. So if I'm here, and let's say for whatever reason this arm isn't going to work through here, if you're going to get bucked, turn your head towards his feet. Because if he bucks you off, he's still in the arm. And you can follow. What happens to a lot of you is you turn your head towards his head, and what happens is that just drops his elbow out here. He's gone. So if you feel that buck coming, you're going to run into big school kids like Jeremy, right? If I try this on Jeremy, he's going to roll forward that way to try to get me off. You have to turn your hips and head towards those legs, and it makes him force, kind of like that belly down armbar follow drill we've done. It makes him follow that. That's going to help you a ton if you start to feel that muscle. Other questions? Top side arm. As aggressively as not a strike can be. Across, I want it kind of across that jawline or across that neckline. I want it kind of here to here. You don't want it kind of pressured into that anything kind of above his ear. You start to lose positioning, and it's going to be easier for him to kind of roll that head out, and then you're in kind of a different platform.
So like under his neck.
Yeah, you want it right kind of here. So like if I'm here with James, because James loves when you guys ask me these questions. James is like, oh, thanks guys. But I'm looking to have it as tight to here as I can. Because if it's way up here, James is going to duck that head out, and then you've lost everything you worked so hard for. So I'm looking to keep that as tight to kind of that traditional shin and neck position. Pretty aggressively too, to drive that pressure. So here, James has his hands the other way. Boom, you drive that hand in, and I'm driving this wrist forward while pulling it out. Because then once I engage this top hand, top, that's fine. Which hand's top, which hand's bottom? So, for James, if I'm S-mounted on this side and he has this arm up, it makes the traditional arm bar much easier, but that elbow pinch arm bar much harder. Where if he has it stacked this way, it makes the elbow pinch easier, but the traditional elbow harder. Sucks to suck either way. To an extent, you can do arm kind of elbow pinch, Americana, or Kimura, and then get to a traditional. There are some of that you can get into here, but not all. Alrighty? 1, 2, 3. Won't do enemies. Alright, so I'm here, boom, I get here. And let's say for whatever reason, today is just an I don't like James. And most days, right? I just don't appreciate James and some of the things he does. So I get here, and I'm just going to sit in this S mount for a second and really just elaborate on why this is a shitty position right now. All right, all I'm gonna do, he's got his arms crossed. I really appreciate that. All we're gonna do is I'm gonna look to keep those hands crossed and I'm gonna pull his elbows into my hips. He's immediately gonna be like, hey, what are you trying to do to my arms? Yeah, I'm just giving that cross grip, just kind of keep his arms tight so that they're here. As soon as we do that, I'm gonna make sure James had a V8 this morning and bring my shin out. As soon as that shin comes out, it's going to cross back over and underneath his chin. Now, all you should have to do is drive your weight over your shin, and this should suck. Now, ideally it's underneath his chin, and it's choking him. It's James's fault if it's not. So when I pull this back and I post his head down, and I bring this in, it should go under his chin very politely. Now, if he tucks his chin here, and I have to drive my shin through the side of his jaw, it's a real his problem, not mine. Should have propped your chin up and just taken the joke with me. You're a strong, independent person. So, we're here. Boom. All we're doing, I'm making it look like, hey, I'm going to attack your arms, I promise you. Up close and active, right? I'm doing something right here so that I can bring that shin right in front. Now, if it's not working, all you have to do is grab behind his head and pull in as you try to basically, without James in the way, what you're trying to do is you're here, your shin comes out, and you're trying to snap it through the mat. When I do this in a tournament, there's a whole lot of fucking behind this technique. That's what it has to be. It's on him if he tries to stop it. I got into S mount and you let this happen to yourself, that's on you, not me. But the second I scoop those arms out, bring it in, drop it on their chin. Their problem if they want to tuck their chin is like this.
I didn't say broken nose, I said
Alright? Questions? One more just for James' sake. Great. Boom, I'm here. I walk myself up. I get to this S mount. Boom. I'm trying to do things. I attack these arms. He thinks I'm doing. If I do this to James, you initially think something bad is about to happen. You just don't know which direction. Head down, shin out. Shin over. Now the nice part is, if he starts tucking his chin, he's just a tough son of a bitch. Great. Arms there. Like I said, double attacks, triple attacks are available.
You're bundling those arms before you go.
Yep, I'm pulling those arms forward so that because otherwise if I'm here and I don't bundle his arms forward, they're in my way. So when I'm here, I pull those out of the way so that way I can drive that shin over the top. Alright? Great, go choke your friends. 1, 2, 3.